Hello, and welcome to the Paul Green Comedy PaulCast. It is August 20th, 2024. This is episode 258. Stand-up comedian, actor, and improviser, and dreamer, Paul Green coming to you. This is a podcast by a dreamer for all you dreamers out there trying to go for something in your life that's calling to you, that is exciting to you, that's fulfilling to you, and all of that fun stuff. Well, I'll tell you what, I have had quite a day re-entering back to Phoenix, Arizona after my weekend in St. Joseph, Missouri. And I think I overdid it in Missouri, everybody, because pretty much I woke up yesterday with a sore throat and then ended up getting a pretty gnarly migraine. So I got double duty there. The sore throat is continuing on. If my voice sounds a little more sexy than it usually is. Oh, yeah. Yeah, that's because of the sore throat. The migraine did its thing. It came and went yesterday. It got pretty brutal there. And I'll tell you what's most disappointing about the sore throat and the migraine is I really don't have anybody to blame but myself, because my eating habits have just gone to absolute garbage as of late, and I doubled down when I was in Missouri. I drank so much soda, and I was eating candy like a child, and I definitely was not drinking enough water. And then I did a high energy big time show, and then shook however many people came and shook my hand in the lobby afterwards. There were 260 people there, and I did okay on the sleep side of things. I did get a decent amount of sleep, but yeah, I just think the combination of dehydration, because I wasn't drinking enough water, and drinking way too much soda, pummeling my poor immune system with high fructose corn syrup. And I just think my body just got knocked a little too far off a good old-fashioned homeostasis. And it was we don't appreciate what you've done to us, so now you are going to have to only drink water for the next couple of days. And we're going to make you throw up. That's what the migraines do. Yay. So yesterday was pretty rough. Today, it was just nice not to have a headache. And the sore throat, it's just going to do what it's going to do. It feels like one of those 3 to 5 dayer ones. But I've been taking good care. I've been drinking tons of water, hydrating, overcompensating with healthy food, which, if I had just been doing that in the first place, I probably would not be on this situation. So I acknowledge that, and I don't need anybody in the comments to remind me that soda's bad for me and that I should eat healthy and sleep more. Yes, I am aware. Thank you very much. So, So other than that, it's kind of kind of quiet now in terms of I don't have any performances this weekend, which is rare. My next shows aren't going to be for it's gonna be a couple weeks actually. So this will be a good opportunity for me to dive back into the notebook. I am still really struggling to find my next 20 minutes of stand-up material. Heck, I'm struggling to find the next joke, the next 1 minute. But, it's all good. It's just all part of the process. And, I had such an amazing show in St. Joseph, Missouri. Still riding a high from that. Oh, and this is exciting news. I just was notified this evening that I was accepted into the World Series of Comedy main event. So I will be in their round 1 of comedy coming up in September up in Vegas. Very excited about that. I was a little nervous because I have been striking out on comedy festivals that I have submitted to recently, even comedy festivals that I had been accepted into previously. I didn't get accepted this time around, so I have done the World Series of Comedy several years in the past. And for the most part, I've had really good experiences with the World Series. I haven't done it in about 2 years. So I was a little worried that because I'd taken such a gap that maybe I would have a hard time getting back in. So I was excited and happy that they are having me back. And it'll be really fun to bring this new material that I'm doing to a festival and see how it does, see if I have some success there. So I will have that coming up in a couple of months, or not a couple months, next month. And then the Midlife Crisis Comedy Show, I met up with the crew today, and we have now, 1, 2, 3, 4 shows, I think. We have our monthly show in Gilbert booked next month, but then we've booked Safford, Yuma, Michigan, and Iowa. So we are really just starting to look at taking that show literally on the road, starting to see if we can turn that into a successful comedy venture. So I'm going to keep this one a little short because of my throat and wanting to get a little more rest, but I am going to continue my tradition. Is it really a tradition? That's probably not the right word. Continue my daily practice of commenting on the 48 laws of power and my thoughts on each of these laws. So tonight's law, it's kind of an interesting one. The law states, stir up waters to catch some fish. Or you have to stir up water sometimes to catch fish, something like that. What's interesting is the way that the book talks about exercising this law is it's actually a law on staying calm and collected and emotionless when somebody else is like flying off the handle. And the book gives an example of Napoleon like losing his mind at somebody in his court who he thought was conspiring to like overthrow him or something. So like Napoleon goes into this guy's chambers or whatever and then just unloads on him and just has this massive tirade, and he's insulting this guy and trying to like get this guy to like crack or like confess that he's, trying to betray him and all this stuff. And the guy just kind of stands there and smiles unaffected. And then everybody else witnessing this tirade starts to think like, oh, Napoleon's losing his mind. He must be concerned about losing power, or he must be losing power because he's throwing a tantrum like a child. So I don't really understand what that has to do with stirring up waters to catch some fish, because it sounds like in this example, you would think that the person stirring up the waters would be Napoleon, but I guess the book is insinuating that actually how you stir up waters is by maintaining a calm and collected demeanor in the face of somebody else losing their emotions. So gosh, how do I unpack this one? Well, first of all, I am not a fan of tirades, so I think if you're flying off the handle, then even if what you're flying off the handle about is actually wrong, or that you are actually right to be that upset, I do think that human beings really have a hard time trusting or taking seriously somebody who is roused to that level of anger. I don't know why that is. I wonder why that is. We definitely seem, and by the way, I'm in pure speculation mode here. I have no data on this. I have no research on this. I'm really just sort of speaking from my experience on this one. But I can say in my own life that if somebody's losing their mind or yelling or super angry, that I definitely have a real hard time hearing or trusting anything that they're saying as valid. And I would suspect that's probably consistent with maybe any time that I've been, really upset about something. But so yeah, I do think that there is some benefit to maybe what would be considered more of a stoic emotional constitution, especially in situations to where you are trying to affect change. So, I don't know if I can necessarily disagree with this law. I know a lot of these laws I've maybe taken some issue with. But I can't say I'm not a fan of tantrums, and I'm definitely a fan of do I want to use the word controlled? A controlled emotional constitution? I don't like the word controlled, but I would definitely like, I don't know. I do feel that there's definitely benefit in processing the emotional extremes some other way and not do it in a group of people or one-on-one, really in any scenario. I don't know. I think if you're flying off the handle, there's probably something going on within you that probably has nothing to do with whoever it is that you're losing it over. So, hey, there you go. So there's a law of power that I'm kind of like, yeah, I can get behind that. Are there exceptions to that? Yeah, there might be. I think it's hard. Oh gosh, how do I explain this? Like I'll see this kind of happen in movies sometimes, to where and if it's happened in movies, it probably happens in real life, where there's like really like the evil, devious person, but they're just so evil that they're calm about it. But then like the person who they're wronging or, you know, gaslighting or whatever finally like has had enough. And so they're the ones who actually lose it. But the fact that they're actually losing it is actually really justified because they actually have been drastically mistreated and silenced. And so there's kind of this explosion of like, no, this person is this evil thing. And, you know, I've had it. So now is, oh, geez. Okay. I'm kind of contradicting myself here. I would just say in those scenarios, I would just say it's unfortunate because in that scenario, the stoic person actually does look more right, even if they actually are like the evil, devious person, which I guess given a lot of the intent of the 48 laws of power, that's actually probably why it's teaching that principle. It's like, hey, if you're just stoic and emotionally unaffected, then you can get away with more stuff and be evil. Which, you know, hey, if that's your intent, I ain't got nothing for you. But yeah, I think that learning to control one's temper, learning to process emotions in a pragmatic manner that leads to effective outcomes is very essential and a very essential part of life. I definitely know that when I have been untethered in my emotions, it usually does not lead to positive outcomes. So that is definitely something that I have strived to master in my life and improve in my life. And I can say the more emotionally intelligent and the more emotionally self-aware I become, and I increase my capacity to allow my emotions to be felt and processed in a manner or an expression that will also allow me to have a positive outcome with whatever it is that I'm seeking. It's you know, it's the better way to go about things. So there you go. That's my thoughts on stirring up some waters to catch fish. Although I still don't really understand that metaphor in this context. Maybe I need to go back and listen to the chapter again and it'll be a little bit more clear. But for now, my voice is tired. My throat is tired. I want to get some more rest and hopefully be able to come out on the other end of this little sore throat thing happening. So I am going to leave it there, everybody, but I hope you are all doing well. Your dreams are coming true. You're out there pursuing what is in your heart and finding joy and fulfillment in your journey. This has been the Paul Green Comedy Podcast, a podcast by a dreamer for you dreamers out there. August 20th, 2024, episode 258. I love you all so much, and I will talk to you tomorrow.